So as we know, beginning of July, new law was passed. Anybody who wants to become resident in Spain for the first time, they have to now get a TIE card, and the requirements for the TIE card, which I'm going to go through in a minute, are different to when we used to go and get the old green card, the European style card. Okay, so I wanted to do a quick update because we've had quite a few back from provinces that we're like Almeria, Malaga, Granada, Jaén. Let's not talk about Jaén. No, I want to talk about Jaén. Earache. Sevilla as well. Now, it's the same as with the green cards. Everywhere has their own nuances. You know, there's a law and there's an instruction as well being published on what you need to do. But then it's the interpretation of that by the person who's looking at your file, isn't it? Let's be honest. And the interpretation, I can tell you, varies from place to place. Okay, but what I wanted to run through, first of all, is what's happening and our experience. So for example, the three main things that you need to prove are that you have healthcare in place, you have means to economically sustain yourself in Spain, and that you are living here within the withdrawal agreement. Okay. Now, in theory, the new law that was brought in, refers back to, let's not call it the old European law, but the European law for residency in regards to your healthcare and means to sustain yourself. Okay, we know that the means to sustain yourself, and there's a interesting article that we've just published on our website, on our news feed, which shows you how to prove your economic means in Spain, is related to the system here in Spain called IPREM. Okay, now, although the case is that all we need to be doing is getting together collating the same information as we did when we used to do the European residencies for British citizens, it has been slightly different. Okay, we've had, for example, they used to request an average balance certificate for certain circumstances. Now we have to provide the average balance certificate for a bit longer with a statement to back it up. Just in some cases, one thing that's coming through. Nota simples. Now, nota simples in some police stations used to be an adequate form of your economic sustainability in Spain. Sustainability. And it's now not accepted, or we've had some rejections when that's the only proof. We've also had an exception as well. But so what we do is we apply to our applications a belts and braces policy. So you know what, if you can give me two things, give me two things. Give me three things, give me three things. Okay. The healthcare, right? The healthcare is the same as before, so it's all seemed to be getting accepted. So the good news is they accepting S1 applications. So people who qualify for S1, they seem to be flying through really well. Really happy with that. That's good. You know, we'll get their proof that they're living here, which is the padron. They have to be on the padron. The S1 and just the proof of the pension, and they're flying through. People who've got work contracts here or self-employed, again, these seem to be the easier cases that we're passing. The cases we're having more problems with people who are living off of savings and private healthcare. Okay, they seem to be a little bit more complicated. We have to provide a lot more documentation to push those through. I think the authorities want to avoid people who are trying to get in, maybe within the withdrawal agreement, aren't actually living here yet. Just want to take advantage of that period. So, you know, it's understandable, but yeah, that here in Malaga, certainly, that seems to be the case. There's a lot of extra requirements for those cases. That said, when this first came to light, they did send us some information requesting more stuff. We handed that information to them. So they send you a list of suggested documents. You don't have to have every single document in the list. We've been saying a minimum of 3 documents. We send it in and they've been approved. So that's fine. It's strange, the nuances between the places. Okay, for example, Granada. Granada have been giving out the residency, the TIE cards, but from the date that the person took the padron. Well, the 5 that we have done there, they have all got their residency from the date they took their padron. Whereas in Malaga, it's from the date that you made the application. Almeria, for example, knocked us back on one because they wanted to see a signature on the X20, which is digitally signed on Mercurio. Don't know why, but we just got it signed and scanned it across, send it, and accepted. It's up and down, you know, but what I can say is that the case is, if you do get, they call it a rejection, but what they call it is a requirement, a requisito. So if you do get a requisito, requerimiento, sorry, they call it not requisito, requerimiento, then you have to answer that. That's it. Then they're going through. The appointments are pretty fluid in most places to then go to stage 2, which is your fingerprints and handing in your photos, which is what also people are doing now. Got the current little green card or the A4 sheet, even though they're not obliged to do it yet. The law says it's not mandatory, but it's optional. It's a good idea. Why not? At some point, it's my belief, and it's not in law, but it's my belief that it will become mandatory to do so. So anyway, there's a bit of an update. If you are looking to get residency in Spain and have got absolutely nothing in place yet, contact us, book a call on the link below this video. And remember, the things we're going to talk about in our call, I'm going to book a 15-minute call, and the structure of the call is we're going to talk about your healthcare, how you're going to economically support yourself in Spain, and how you are going to prove that you're living here within the withdrawal agreement. Okay, they're the 3 points that we talk about. Once we've got that in place, we'll say, okay, this is what you need to send us. This is when we think we can go ahead with the application. Have a great weekend.